Hey guys, Ryan Arzy here with Foiling Magazine. We're in beautiful Hood River, Oregon for AWSI, and I'm having the pleasure to meet with Steven from Core to go over the new line, new materials, and exciting new gear. So what do you got for us?
Yeah, excited that you're watching. Thank you very much. So let's just start off with the foil or the wing straight away. As you can see, we have an Aluula wing, new for this year. It's a Halo Pro. Our main goal for this wing was go as light as possible, go as stiff as possible, and just make a really solid frame. I think one of my favorite parts from this wing is actually having a boom. Right. We always had rigid handles on the XC, and the rigid handles are very nice, but with the boom you just get, what I really enjoy is you can just slide around and like that sometimes save a crash by just quickly sliding it around. The Aluula makes a very big difference to the airframe itself. I find that we had two prototypes, one Aluula and one just regular Dacron material, and it's crazy how stiff this Aluula material is. So we have the Aluula material that just creates a very stiff airframe, and that's something you'll notice straight away when pumping. You're gonna pump, it has a good stiff airframe. Feels light in the hand, easy to maneuver, and we could also go a little thinner on the leading edge. So especially riding upwind, you're going to notice that you're just going to shoot upwind, and then if you're wave riding with it, it's nice because the faster you go upwind, the more waves you can catch downwind. Right. So yeah, that's basically our new Aluula Halo wing. Epic. I'm very stoked with it, although I still have to say I really like the XC. The XC is our Dacron wing. It has a different material as this is Dacron. The main interesting part is just the price point and the price difference between these wings. I ride a lot in the waves, and in the waves what I've noticed with winging is you never know when your foil is gonna hit your wing, especially getting washed sometimes. So I really enjoy taking these wings. It's happened before, and if you have like an expensive wing, it sucks. Totally. So Dacron, we use all our materials that we have from kiteboarding. So this is Exotex to a leading edge, very tear resistant. We use the Cortex canopy, which is also tear resistant, and it's just a stiff material. And from that, we've been playing around with these wings. They're all round, and I would say the focus is slightly more on the wave department, where it's just fun to cruise around with them, and they fly behind you very nice. A little fun detail that a lot of people ask us, like, hey, what is this? In the tip, for instance, we have like this little anchor points that are quite interesting, and that's to prevent the bladder from twisting inside of your leading edge, so your wing doesn't get warped.
I see you also have these tabs on the deflate valves. What is that for?
Yeah. So the little pin that we have on the deflate valve is actually to deflate the wing. So there's a pushback valve, and with the pin you press it in.
Cool.
There's also a small difference, for instance, because we wanted to have the Halo super light. We have a little a classic valve that you can just deflate your wing with. It's a lighter valve, which is on the strut, and then we have our core valve on the leading edge. Another good part of having two valves is you can go different pressures, for instance, in your leading edge and your strut if you would like to.
And so this one's 8 psi, and then those ones are 7 to 9?
I think 7 to 8 if I'm correct.
Okay.
8 to 9.
8 to 9. Wow.
This is a 4 meter though.
Right.
Like obviously if you go on a bigger wing, you have a bigger and fatter leading edge, and your PSI you should go for a lower PSI, otherwise you put a lot of stress.
And what sizes do you have on this one and the Aluula version?
So if I'm correct, and otherwise you can edit this in.
Yeah, no worries.
We have the XC starts at a 6.5 square meter or even 7 square meter, and it goes all the way down to 2.5 in increments of 0.5 of a meter. So 5.5, 5, 4.5, 4, 3.5. The Aluula starts at 6 and it goes all the way down to 3, but we only have steps from 6, 5, 4, 3.
That's still a great range.
Yeah, it's especially like the hull sizes sometimes make it extra hard to actually choose which one you want, because
Right.
It's just slightly easier like with that.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we've got some amazing foils behind us as well. I'm going to put this over to the side and we can go over that.
You can go. Yeah.
All right, so we've got two different classes of foils here. Can you tell me a little bit about the Spectrum and the Vert?
Exactly. So the Spectrum is the foil we released last year. It's a very easy to go foil, very all round and available or accessible to everyone. One of the main things and designer goals for the Spectrum was accessibility. So easy getting on the foil, even without some crazy pumping techniques. You just accelerate and it slowly starts lifting. Where
Low end.
yeah, especially in the low end. And I really like these medium aspect foils actually, because they are so accessible and easy to ride. On the other hand, some of us did want to have a slightly higher aspect wing as well, and through that be able to have more glide, higher performance, higher speeds. And that's actually when we came out with the Vert range. And the Vert range is really developed for that. The guys that want to go, well, the people, guys and girls obviously, that want to go out there and have better glide, are more into wave riding, for instance, and just want to glide on the waves, or whenever they do their maneuvers, want to have a lot of glide, but know how to control the foil. So to give you an example, this is our 1250 Spectrum, and this is a 1050 Vert, and the span just gets a lot higher, very much more high aspect. The Vert itself starts at 1050 as the smallest one, and then we have an 850 and a 700. Willow really did a lot of designing on these with our foil designer Jan, to make sure he has the right equipment to go charge big waves in Mauritius.
See that? So is this the smallest size, the 700?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So the
wow.
smallest size is 700 that we have. And it has very good speed, but what I noticed about these foils is they just have a lot of control. So we always try to keep a little bit of our core feeling in all of our lineup. And for the foils, for me, it's really been, easiness of riding. And that's what you see back even in the smaller ones. They have a linear lift. They don't just start stalling and riding straight up. They lift easily.
So it looks like you have two different ranges of foils here, the Spectrum and the Vert. Can you tell me a little bit about when you would want to use the Spectrum versus the Vert and who it's for?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the Spectrum is the foil we released last year. It's a medium aspect foil. It's really geared towards the people that are starting off with wing foiling and want to have a foil that lasts them for a long while. It's very easy to get out of the water, very maneuverable, but also predictable. And that's something I really like about the entire Spectrum range. But some of our riders wanted smaller, and also customers, smaller, faster. And that's when you get out at the high aspect series, which in this case is the Vert. These wings have better glide due to a higher aspect ratio, but you give up a little bit on that easiness. Of course, if you go full bank into a turn, a high aspect wing will pop out slightly earlier, and it's slightly more technical wing to ride, but it unlocks glide and performance. So
there's three wings in this range, right? So there's the 1050, the 850, and the 700.
Exactly. The Vert comes in three sizes.
Yeah.
The Spectrum series goes all the way from 950 up to 2250, if I'm correct. So it's quite a big range.
Yeah, and then this is a recommended tail, right?
One.
Yeah, for the Vert. And
so the Vert, we also went for a smaller tail, or a thinner stabilizer, thinner profile to unlock more speed. And next to that, we came out with a full carbon mast, which is nice. The aluminium mast, I don't mind the stiffness of an aluminium mast. I think it's great. Price-wise, it makes a lot of sense. Aluminium is cheap. With our system, you can easily change out just the mast. So for little money, you can try a lot of different lengths. But the nice thing about the Carbon Mast is we were able to have different profiles in there for a different riding experience and less stall behavior in your turns.
And so this is one of the setups you guys have here on demo, and it looks very balanced and it's actually pretty lightweight. And you know, the carbon finish and everything is very nice. It doesn't look like your standard carbon. Everything looks, you know, held and upgraded.
The board you see here is actually the Roamer S, and that's a board we've been working on together with Apple Tree.
Oh, nice.
Which is produced in Portugal. So it's an XPS core, obviously carbon layup with epoxy. And XPS is nice, it's closed cell, it's easy, it's strong, light, stiff. And if you compare it to our Roamer range, the Roamer is more of a square board, good for freestyle, good for beginning. And the Roamer S is more of a wave board, 45 liters and 38 liters only. So again, only that bottom part or the high performance part of our range. Narrower tail, more for the surf. And now I think we have a range that caters to all kind of riders.
Yeah, that's incredible. I love the way the color scheme and everything fits together, and it's awesome to see this new lineup. Thank you so much for having us, and I'm excited to see everything else you guys have on display.
Yeah, sure. Go have a look. If you have any questions, go check out ridecore.com or at the Wingfoiling magazine, or sorry,
Foiling magazine. No worries. Yeah.
And you'll get your info there.
All right.